wanted to open with a brief letter to endometriosis, if you don't mind. That would be cathartic. Dear endometriosis, screw you. Screw you for making my friend, Lena Dunham, feel pain, worry, and weakness. Screw you for inflicting pain on this brilliant writer, advocate, producer, actress, editor, activist, director, daughter, sister, friend, and girlfriend. Her revenge will be living her life like you never existed, and we will do everything in our power to make sure that happens. We are going to delete you from her address book. We're going to tell her we never liked you in the first place. We're going to say we ran into you and you looked weird and awful. The women in this room and everyone else in Lena's life are going to make you miserable until you slink away and cease to cause her pain. She is too good for you, as are all of the women here, so leave them alone, okay? Love ya, Allison. So I debated about whether or not to read that letter because one of the many things Lena Dunham has taught me over the years is self-love, and I wondered if loving oneself includes even the parts of you that cause you so much pain, the confused cells in your body who are suffering from identity crises, this disorder that threatens to derail her on a monthly basis. But since I am not Lena, I can perhaps be forgiven for not being as enlightened as a person, because almost nobody is as enlightened as Lena is. We are talking about a woman who runs our show, Girls, and many other projects as well, without batting an eyelash. She authored a New York Times bestseller, no big deal, and she launched a trailblazing newsletter, Lenny Letter, and if you're not subscribed, you absolutely should be. She does all of these things and many more while maintaining a sunny, compassionate, and professional brilliance. Lena's general goodness is one of the foundations of our Girls family. Not as well known, however, is the fact that she's been quietly coping with brutal pain that went unexplained for a very long time. And for someone who seems to know everything, and she does, Lena must have felt so confused and scared to not know what was wrong. And something was definitely wrong. After season 1, Lena found out that she had endometriosis. She shared the news of her diagnosis with me, which was my introduction to the disorder, and I had this strange reaction, and bear with me here, of almost empathizing with the endometrial tissue that was stubbornly refusing to leave her body. I could relate to the desire to take up residence as close to her as possible, because as anyone who has come into contact with Lena will tell you, we never want to leave the glow of her presence. I mean, just ask those of us who are about to be done working with her for 6 years. If we could attach ourselves to her less painfully and destructively, we absolutely would. Yeah, she's the best. It's crazy. After telling me about her diagnosis, she told me not to worry. Jenny has it. Jenny Connor, her partner in crime and our executive producer, director, writer, goddess. How bad could it be if Lena's platonic soulmate had it too? It then occurred to me, right then and there, that endometriosis had just met its match, because whether you're endometrial tissue or a misogynist reporter, you do not fuck with Lena and Jenny. Sorry for saying the F word. There are a lot of people in here that I'm now embarrassed about, but that's okay. The most remarkable thing, and something to which many of you will relate, is that these past few years while Lena was struggling with endometriosis, the rest of her life didn't just stop being complicated and difficult. Conflict waits for no one. It spares none of the women in here who are also coping with it. Like so many of you, Lena has braved many different ordeals, all the while experiencing a kind of pain that so many women, most women, cannot even imagine. And worse, the crises in Lena's life almost always came as a punishment for standing up and advocating for others. For years, Lena worked through her pain. Only occasionally would she have to stay home in bed and miss work, and only occasionally could you catch her grimacing or massaging her stomach. Anyone who worked with or knew her was on her team, allies in her fight. She continued for years to work at the same level that she had been. So when she announced that she was going to take it easy this spring to focus on allowing her body to recover, I knew that Lena had achieved yet another level of enlightenment. The woman who never stopped finally gave herself her version of a break, which is still 75% more productive than anyone else I know. And in order to move on with her private life and career, she had to focus on ridding herself of the stubborn and painful passengers who had lodged themselves in her body. And she is back with even more vigor and a new sense of protectiveness for herself. I know that some of the newfound fierceness comes from this community of women right here, Padma and the rest, and doctors. It's not all women. You guys are pretty amazing. She would be the first to point out that she is fortunate to have the options she's had for treating endometriosis, and she will continue to bring awareness until all women who struggle with it have the same options that she does. The women in this room should feel very fortunate to have Lena in their ranks. I can personally attest to the power with which she combats her foes, and when that foe is threatening to distract the power of a woman, oh, hell no. She's not going to let that happen. People call Lena brave a lot. Sorry, I know this is long. I just had a lot to say. People call Lena brave a lot, but she is in fact very brave. But they call her brave for the wrong reasons because they're projecting their own fears onto her, and they're assuming she shares them. Lena is not afraid to show you her body. She is not afraid to tell you that Hillary should be president. She's not afraid to tell you that women should have the option to determine what they do with their own bodies. A lot of these things scare me, as evidenced by the fact that I am currently as naked as I am comfortable being in front of you just to honor Lena. And I'm pretty sure if she wore this, she would lose the bra entirely. But so no, Lena's not afraid of those things. In fact, I've only seen a flicker of fear on her face a few times. And it is when she, like so many of you, has been made to feel afraid of what endometriosis could mean for her life. Confronting it daily and vigilantly is a stunning display of bravery, and I'm in awe of all of you who confront it with that same fear. She is brave. I agree. And she is formidable even in the face of something she fears. So I actually wanted to close by giving my condolences to anyone out there who has ever tried to hurt Lena. It turns out that, like Achilles before her, only a part of Lena's own body can wound her, and even then, she will win. And the sooner everybody learns that, the better. So ladies and gentlemen, the second recipient of this year's Blossom Award, Lena Dunham.